trade, an official trade that's happened in the NBA. The drama continues, the saga continues, the NBA still making headlines. I'm a little bit surprised at the timing of this trade, and I'm a little surprised of the moving parts of this trade. But nevertheless, the LA Clippers have traded with the Memphis Grizzlies, and basically the Clippers will get Eric Bledsoe in exchange for Patrick Beverly, Rajon, Rondo, and Daniel Oturu. If you're a Clipper fan, I'm going to break down why the Clippers are doing this trade. But before we get into that, I want to just remind you guys to please check out the website at www.swissflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter at SwissFlames, and definitely check out the brand new Facebook page at Swiss Flames Podcast. And also make sure you check out our YouTube page. You just search Swiss Flames Podcast and you'll be able to find it. We are currently at 500 subscribers on the YouTube page, so we definitely appreciate the support. Please go out there, share it, like, comment, do whatever you can to support the channel. We appreciate the support so far. You guys have been amazing. But yeah, we're at 500 subscribers on the YouTube. We're trying to push for another 500 so we can get closer to monetizing that channel. So we definitely appreciate your ongoing support in that regards. But nevertheless, back to the subject at hand. A big NBA trade that went down today, and that is between, once again, the LA Clippers and Memphis Grizzlies. Once again, Eric Bledsoe will be going over to the Clippers. Rajon, Rondo, Patrick Beverly, and Daniel Oturu will go on to the Memphis Grizzlies. So what does this mean, and why would the Clippers at this present moment do a trade like this? Because it really makes no sense. You take back Eric Bledsoe, he's making about $18 million. The combination of those three players you send over to Memphis is making more than that. And so when you break down this trade, basically what's the end result of it? Well, if you're Memphis, you get Patrick Beverly, who's probably the main piece they're going after in this trade, who now becomes your backup point guard. And even at times in the playoffs, you could play him and John Morant in the game together, because Patrick Beverly could be a spot-up shooter and he could play off the ball as well. But defensively, he gives you a tenacity on defense and a dog on defense and a little pest on defense that you don't have fully, as far as depth goes. And so if you're the Grizzlies, this is an extra insurance added Patrick Beverly, for a team that's probably still treading towards more as far as their ranking. And they're still a pretty young team, so I still look at the Grizzlies as more of the lower seeds of the Western Conference. If everything strikes right, they could be a 7th or 8th seed in the West. You know what I'm saying? But, I still think this coming season they're still going to be in that play, and I still think they're a few years out before, they'll start contending in the West. The West is very strong, and those teams up top are definitely better. Nevertheless, it's a great pickup for the Grizzlies. I do not think for one moment Rajon Rondo will end the season with the Grizzlies. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if sooner or later he gets a buyout from the Grizzlies. Rondo is due about $7.5 million because he's traded. I believe $750,000 more dollars will be added to that. So Rondo will be making about $8 million this year. I wouldn't be surprised if the Grizzlies try to buy him out for around $6 million, maybe $5 million, and then he goes signs a veteran minimum on a contending team, and I think most likely he'll be back with the Lakers. I would not be surprised if Rondo will be back with the Lakers. But but if you're the Grizzlies, you're basically, in my opinion, you're going to have Beverly and your Turo part of your crew, and Beverly would be the guy basically replacing Eric Bledsoe in the team. If you're the Grizzlies, you got rid of Eric Bledsoe, which is a plus. What I'm saying? There was really no room for Eric Bledsoe on this team. He was a part of that Steven Adams dump that the Pelicans did by sending him to the Grizzlies. And so the Grizzlies had no intentions of going into the season with Eric Bledsoe. They were trying their best to get off of him, and now they found a perfect situation to let him off. If you're the Clippers, all this is a salary dump. You could care less about getting Eric Bledsoe or not. You're going to give him a shot opportunity. Obviously, he's making a lot of money this season, so he's going to get some playing time. He's going to be part of the rotation. Now the question would be, what you're going to do with him. Is he going to start, or is he going to come off the bench? You re-sign Reggie Jackson to that $11 million deal. Reggie Jackson played so well last season. So I think with this move, you're clearly getting rid of Patrick Beverly. It's clearly stating that Reggie Jackson is your starting point guard. If with this move, to me, that clearly indicates that Reggie Jackson is going to start point guard. But what are you going to do with Eric Bledsoe? Is he coming off the bench or not? Well, if Kawhi's not going to be there. And I want to stress this a lot, before I break this down about Kawhi Leonard. I believe this trade by the Clippers is fully about Kawhi Leonard. And if you're a Clippers fan, you might not want to hear this, but to me, if they're saving money, which by this trade they're saving $30 million off the luxury tax by doing a trade like this only means to me, and it's definitely a great indication of confirmation that the Clippers know that Kawhi Leonard is not playing this season. They are not expecting Kawhi Leonard to play this season, because if he was going to play this season, you don't do a move like this and mess up, what you had last season, Patrick Beverly being a big part of the rotation and helping you guys in the playoffs tremendously. Rondo being a great basketball mind as he is, even though it didn't look like Rondo fit in too well with the Clippers. I don't think they used him correctly. He just didn't mesh with the Clippers as much as everybody thought he would. So, but at the end of the day, to do this trade now, to me, it's a clear sign that the Clippers know Kawhi Leonard is not playing. So Steve Ballmer is not the richest owner in basketball because he just throws away money. So if he gets a good indication and knows that Kawhi's not playing, of course he's going to cut costs. Because why he's going to keep playing way in the luxury tax if he knows he doesn't have a legitimate shot? So he's going to do this. And hey, if the Clippers overachieve and get further than he thought, then so be it. But without Kawhi Leonard, they're not expecting to win the championship this year. And so saving $30 million of the luxury tax, is a plus, and it's a win for the Clippers as far as their management is concerned. And so if you're a Clippers fan, to me, that's what that means. So I'm sorry to tell you that most likely Kawhi is not playing this season. And you know what? At the end of the day, we all know Kawhi is very, very reserved and very conservative when it comes to rehabilitating injuries. So, Kawhi wants to be extra ready before stepping back on the court anyway. So with that said, with Eric Bledsoe going to the Clippers, all we got to figure out now is he coming off the bench? Well, an $18 million player coming off the bench is a very expensive price to pay. So what this does is give you a little assurance. You get an extra veteran presence. If I'm the Clippers, I'm trying to give Terrence Mann as much playing time as possible. My starting lineup for the Clippers this coming season would be probably moving Paul George to the small forward, right? And you have in the backcourt, you'll do Reggie Jackson and Terrence Mann, and then we'll have Paul George, Marcus Morris, and then you could do Serge Ibaka or you could do Zubac, whichever one you want to start at the center. But that'll be my start lineup for the Clippers. But with Eric Bledsoe making $18 million, do you make Terrence Mann now your sixth man? Which you can do that because you don't have Kawhi. Terrence Mann coming off the bench because he does have a scoring punch, and I would trust his scoring more. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the sixth man coming off the bench. But totally, this is all about just saving money. And to me, this is just, once again, like I said, giving a confirmation Kawhi Leonard's not playing this season. You know what I'm saying? So it's a good trade, I think, for the Grizzlies for sure. The Clippers, I'll be honest with you, Eric Bledsoe, he in the last few seasons hasn't really looked too well, and he's choked in the playoffs a lot. But who knows? Maybe a change of scenery, maybe being around some different guys can help him with that. But he has been very, very bad in the playoffs. And so, the Clippers, to me, they're still a middle-of-the-pack Western team, even without Kawhi. They're going to win a lot of games this season, but I don't know about any long, deep playoff runs without Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a big loss for them to make up. But this is going to be a great season for them to develop the talent that they have around those guys of Kawhi and Paul George. It's going to be a great season for the other guys to really develop and step up and probably come back next year with Kawhi fully in tow to make a big championship run. Anyway, let me know what you think about this trade. Who do you think won the trade? What are your thoughts about it? Please comment. Once again, hit the like, hit the subscribe. You know what I mean? It's your boy Kid Cal 516. I'm signing off. This has been the Swiss Flames Podcast. Peace.